Welcome to Chanakya, where you get the right guidance at the right time. We have a situation today with a manager Ram, which is often encountered by many managers during periods of change. We have with us two experts, Shivji and Ananth, with whom we will explore this. Welcome, Shivji and Ananth.
Thanks.
Thank you, Srini.
Okay, Ram is a senior project manager in a large delivery leading a large delivery. The project demographics is the customer is a global customer. There are about 225 applications. It's a 5-year contract. The team is about 125 offshore and 30 on-site. Prior to this change of vendor, the business was used to getting desk site support. The customer CIO had mandated in the contract that standard tools and processes shall be used for service management. Based on this, Ram had made an assumption of improved efficiency and bid the deal to win. Now at the operational level, Ram's team is facing some serious challenges. The users do not want to use the ticketing system. They are very peeved off with the fact that they don't have desk site support, right? And further the service is remote. They either want to call up or send messages about 50% of the times. They actually want to speak to the engineer who's directly assigned to the problem. After closing the ticket, they don't want to close the ticket on the system either, many a time. Now, John, who is the operations manager, is sympathizing with Ram, but is unable to do anything to influence his business. During the first quarter review, the CIO was annoyed that with just 75% of the tickets on the system, as per plan, Ram's team had a lot of open tickets. Anand, what is your assessment of the situation?
That's a fairly large deal you're talking about, Srini, there. Yeah, I think there are a couple of I think observable symptoms here. Let me talk about them first. One is the CIO has come up with this diktat, right? Thou shall use the ticketing system, right? But the users are not going to automatically start using it, right? That would not be the right kind of assumption. I think the second thing is, these poor users are used to nice desk site support. Someone comes by the side and has a bit of a banter about the weather, the weekend, right? And solves the problem along at the same time, right? And now they are sitting there, they've got to, log this in this inanimate thing called computer, log a ticket, right? Or this programmed voice at the other end, sitting in a remote place. So I think that's another issue. So there's some, I think what is the impact of these? Firstly, the poor team, they can show only 75% of their workload, right? And they work twice as hard, right?
That's true.
150%, right? Almost, and that doesn't come out well. And then all these open tickets. The second thing is open tickets, and nobody wants to see too many open tickets, right? That's a sign of you're not responsive enough or whatever, right? And all this is because users are not closing the tickets. Right? So I think that's probably a quick assessment of the situation. Yeah.
So I like the way you look at the symptom, the cost below that, and the impact. Right? It's a good way I think Ram can learn from. Right? Shiv, what would be your input to Ram?
Yeah, I think it's primarily an issue of change management. Okay. While at the strategic level, there is a need for standardization and moving to these systems, the users have been accustomed to a certain level of pampering, as Anand was saying. And John, for some reason, is not able to communicate that or have active communication with the users and carry them along. So it will be good for Ram to empower John and use him as the change champion and get through to the users. Now to do that, he should support John. Okay. So a couple of things that he could probably communicate or establish that what is coming in the future is one is about proactive solutions. When users are facing similar problems or there are patterns of issues that come up, there could be technology based solutions that could be more proactive so that they don't face those issues in the future. The second is based on, let's say, the pattern of tickets that are received. Based on the geography or the time zone or the nature of work, they can adjust the workload of the support team so that there is still equal or better responsiveness and something that can be there in their context. And of course, if John needs to win the senior leaders behind this, the cost benefit in terms of consolidation is something that again Ram can support John with.
Well, interesting, Shiv, you said you talked about this, making John, right, the champion. I've had situations John refuses to be a champion, right? So, I mean, what do you do in such cases?
Yeah, it's an interesting thing. In this case, what I understood was that John does understand Ram's problem.
Yes, bit of
because
sympathy.
he sympathizes with Ram, but
So
he feels
helpless,
and then he can't do anything. So it's not that John doesn't want to solve the problem, because ultimately he has to be with the users longer term, and how he has to carry them.
Yeah.
So yes, if there is any hesitation or John does not believe that this is going to work, then first Ram has to win him over.
Yeah.
Okay. Talk about how is his life going to change?
right.
How can he be successful?
Yeah, right. True.
Yeah.
So I like your idea about John being the champion, and I also like the fact that you handled very nicely about what Ananth was saying. Situations where John initially is reluctant. How do you still continue to make him your champion?
Yeah.
There is no choice.
Yeah.
Right? And also the other thing I picked up was the fact that ensure that the business leaders, because they are always looking for what is the business impact, right? Keeping that communication. I like those two things. So while that is going on the change management side, anything else that Ram could do on the tactical side to get this moving in the short run?
Yeah, I think I'm pretty sure, and he can do, and he should. He should look at doing, a couple of things. So firstly, the users are not willing to open the tickets, right? So when they call or they send a message, what Ram's team could do is they can actually log the ticket on behalf of the user, right? And actually show the user how to sort of follow through the ticket on the system and the status, and follow up on that rather than calling again. And maybe use that as an opportunity to sort of nudge them towards here is how you can log the ticket yourself, right? Okay, some bit of rapport gets built, and they would do that. I think tactically, the second thing that comes to me is on the issue of the closure of tickets, right? One way to handle that is, so usually what happens, tickets get resolved, right? And but the users don't close the ticket, so you're looking like tickets are open. So they could have an understanding between the organizations, right? Saying that, okay, if the ticket is not closed after resolution for a day or two, whatever they agree with, they could deem it to be closed. Wow. Right? Okay, I've seen this work in practice as well, and usually what happens, the moment the user sees such a message, they'll quickly go and take a look at, is my problem solved, is the application running, whatever, right? And that kind of, even if they're not closed, it sort of gets closed in a real sense.
Yeah, but Ananth, sometimes I find that irritating. I've been on the other side. The moment somebody solves a ticket, even before, can I close the ticket? I said, no, give me some time to look at it. I'll get back to you.
Fair enough. Yeah. I think usually that's why this communications probably is also important here. Saying they will have 1 or 2 days, whatever is understanding, maybe 48 hours, right? And then they don't feel rushed.
Yeah. I
guess they would still feel a little bit peeved. I think you're right. They would still feel a little bit peeved. Who are these guys telling me this? So that's
but in any case, you're saying at least bring some sort of a cadence.
Some sort of a cadence.
Yeah, that should definitely. It will definitely let me think twice before I say I leave it open.
So I like what you're saying, Ananth. So you're basically saying chip in till the customers get accustomed to the new system. Help them out so that you don't make it's your job, right? And the most important thing I like in all this is the fact that this can now allow the CIO to see this team in a different light, right? Because he sees a lot more tickets on the system and doesn't think of underload, right? Also sees more tickets are getting closed, right? I think they're good.
And that's true, Srini. In fact, what would be good is instead of waiting for the quarterly review, it's better for them to continuously publish trends and ticket flow information to the
idea.
CIO and the business leaders, right? So it will give. So it's not found at the time of review, right? You want to keep them in sync with what's happening.
Very good. Hey, any other things, Ananth and Shivji, you want to tell Ram or people like Ram?
I think that, a couple of thoughts probably triggered by what Ananth said.
Okay.
One is about the users being pampered and all that. So maybe a short-term solution could be to increase the on-site presence, where there is more connect. They all know that it's not a nameless, faceless person or somebody doing that. So establish that rapport. And the second one that Anand mentioned was about creating tickets on the user's behalf. And since they are used to messaging, maybe technology like chatbots or something that can actually convert the tickets, generate the tickets on the user's behalf, but still retaining the interface that they are more comfortable with, are probably things that they can look at to balance the expectations from the CIO as well as the users.
That's interesting, Shivji. I like your idea about chatbot and things like thinking beyond this one. But I think we'll have one more round where we'll discuss about how does his manager manage the P&L with all this extra cost, right? Thank you, Shivji, for some of these out-of-the-box ideas. I think you have now given a segue for a future discussion with Ram's manager on how to manage P&L with these ideas.
Yeah, that's for another day.
Okay, now let me summarize for the benefit of Ram the key takeaways from what you people said. If there's anything I missed out, please feel free to chip in.
Sure.
First, beyond the leadership directive, change management needs active action to make it happen. Other important thing, keep the communication running appropriately to the various stakeholders through the entire process of implementing change.
Right.
Make the key player in the customer organization your champion change agent, in this case, John.
Yeah, right.
Right? Until the users get into the habit of actually using the new system, chip in with some additional help and guide them through the change.
Yep.
Think outside the box, like the ideas of either for a short term putting in extra resources on site, and things like chatbot, which can help you in the long haul. Anything else, Shiv or Anand?
That's a fair summary.
Thank you, Shivji and Anand, for all your valuable insights, right? And I hope people like Ram will find the experiential insight of Shiv and Anand very helpful, right? Thank you for joining us.